Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of We're Not Friends, otherwise known as WNF podcast. And I'm Lauren Mastriano.
I'm Jean Mastriano.
In this episode, I'm going to be doing some ASMR. I'm just kidding. But I am going to be drinking this sick-ass Flying Embers hard kombucha. And no, it's not advertised. This is not an ad. It's just fucking delicious.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, I thought it was really good as well. I wasn't too crazy about some of the other hard kombuchas that we tasted over the past couple of months, but I actually thought this was pretty good. And
pineapple chili with a hint of ginger. I'm just kidding. But it is. It's the tits, man.
That's good.
Is this a sign that I'm getting old where I opt for hard kombucha that's only 6.8% alcohol over Paloma or anything with tequila?
I don't know, but you know that when we grew up in Oklahoma, we only had 3.2% alcohol, and we had to usually cross the border to Texas in order to get anything above 5%. So 6.8, is that what you said?
Yeah. So
it's pretty fucking good for a hard kombucha, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tastier than Lost Lakes or Natty Light.
Holy shit, man. That's a bummer.
Or Mad Dog 2020.
I
drink so much, they call me Edward 40 Hands.
I think Mad Dog 2020, I think that stuff was one of those in Smirnoff and all those kind of like super sugary drinks. 99 bananas and all that shit that like when you didn't know what to order when you were a kid, or like when you were doing like an alcohol run for a bunch of people and you had like a bunch of girls typically would give out a ton of those types on the list, and you would just be like fine, and you'd get that stuff just to not annoy the girls you were with. And those were the kind of things that you'd get nauseous from all the sugar way before you would get anywhere near a buzz.
Do you know what I used to drink?
No, what?
Evan Williams.
I mean, a lot of people still drink Evan Williams. And honestly, it's kind of sad. I'm a whiskey drinker, and it's kind of sad how often I go to restaurants and I say, do you guys have any rye whiskeys? And they go, nope. And I go, okay, what kind of whiskeys do you guys have? And they say, well, we've got Wild Turkey, Evan Williams, and we got Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. And I'm like, fuck, man, come on. You got to be kidding me. So, you know what? Evan Williams is apparently not that bad. Apparently people still drink that. So I don't know why. Honestly,
I'm trying to find the vodka I used to drink. I remember it was a Red Label in a big like plastic gallon jug. I don't even see it. Oh, McCormick's. Yeah. Oh. McCormick's and Evan Williams.
Well, here's what I used to do, actually. Back in the day, Sky Vodka, which is trash.
What? Well, that was fancy.
I know, but back in the day, it was fancy. Now it's not. But it was in this, that big blue bottle. I don't know if it still is, but I used to go and take McCormick's, and I would go in and put...
No.
Yeah, I would put McCormick's in the Sky bottle
and
then put it in the freezer. And then whenever girls came over and they wanted to take shots or something like that, I'd pour that and be like, ooh, it's so icy. It's so good.
Shithead.
Oh, yeah. I was like 19 when I did that.
God, Sean, I used to drink this when I was like, well, I'm not going to say how old. I was very much younger than that. Do you want to know what was fancy? I went to my prom, and we opted to get a cousin to go to the liquor store for us and buy some fancy drinks before prom, and it was Sky Vodka, just original.
Yeah.
And Hypnotic.
Ooh, that's painful. Damn.
That is what Lauren Ashley thought was luxurious.
I mean, we were listening
for prom.
Yeah, I mean, we were at that time. We were probably all the music we were listening to was probably telling us to buy Hypnotic as well.
Duh.
I mean, all the hip hop was
or rainbow colors or cough syrup.
Whenever I turned 18, I had like a friend who was, a year younger than me. They would tell me, hey, man, can I borrow your ID or can you go in and buy Robitussin? But behind the counter shit. And it was a thing. Yeah, this is yeah, and fuck, man, I never did it, but I had a few buddies who tried it once, and what they do is they put the Robitussin in with a drop of a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, Jolly Ranchers, man. That should be good as fuck.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and,
3-6.
And then I can't remember. There was one more thing too. There was one more thing that you added to it, like some kind of soda.
I honestly never did it.
I never did.
Did
either.
people do Womp Womps?
I remember that, but I don't
That
remember
was like the
specifically.
duster. No, that was sucking out of the duster can.
Yeah. From the duster, from whipped cream. Yeah. What
Dummies. I actually didn't do that. Listen, man, I've done a lot of stupid shit as a teenager, but I didn't do either of those things. But I did drink Everclear.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, we used to do trash can punch.
Yeah.
And put a ton of Everclear. I'm talking like whole handles of
Yeah,
Everclear.
I'm aware. I was in Oklahoma as high school. Actually,
terrible.
fun fact, we're
Terrible.
totally digressing from our topics, but Jean and I actually met in college, and we met because I'd broken up with a long-term boyfriend that I had dated throughout high school, and I had friends I moved to a different town in high school, but I still hung out in my original town because my boyfriend and my old friends were there. But I had friends in the new town that I hung out with all week and like every other weekend kind of thing. And I kind of lost touch with them over time when I went to college, and actually reconnected with one of them and started hanging out with her and her boyfriend. Well, her boyfriend's best friend at the time was Jean, and we ended up meeting, like, I'm not going to go into the details, but
it's a long story.
It is a long story, but basically we end up meeting each other at a party with mutual friends, a small house gathering, and he and I stay up together late night talking, wake up really early in the morning and just talk for like 6 hours. So I guess, long story short, that's why we're doing a podcast. No, just kidding.
I mean, that could have been, actually, you know what's funny? That could have been a precursor. Over 11 years ago, could have been a precursor to us still yapping our fucking mouths off.
Our gourds off, Jesus Christ.
And talking for long periods of time over nothing.
Wait, so my point with that was when we met each other, like over the years, we have a lot of mutual friends that we each knew in high school, or casual acquaintances, more so for me, I think. But we ended up figuring out that we're pretty sure, like every once in a while we'll have a memory and we'll recant the story to each other, and it's like, were you that person? I'm not sure, but we're like 100% sure. We have one instance of a party that we were both at, and we're pretty sure we remember meeting each other in the backyard.
It was like a bonfire.
Yeah,
back at this guy's house, and yeah, that's what
cops broke it up.
Yep,
we ran. I mean, like, distinctly we were naming people that were there. So we're pretty sure that we knew each other, and Jean is like pretty.
met each other.
Met each other, not knew each other. But Jean's pretty positive. I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't meet you. Especially ladies, after that story where he switched out McCormick's in the Sky vodka bottle, real nice. No, but Jean was a Casanova, in my opinion, when he was younger. At least from my experience in dating him in college, there were major girl drama issues. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know how I stuck around. 'Cause you're amazing and I love you. But anyway,
Sweet.
Yes, but I'm like dead on. If I would have met Jean in high school, I would have been like, no, I didn't do well with those types of guys, always impressing the ladies. But Jean thinks he would have got me, and then I probably would have left my life and gone to Europe with him, and then we wouldn't have been in the U.S., so who knows what would have happened. So many what ifs, but we're here now, and it's been a good 11 years.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's good to recount that stuff. So, less positive news. Bill Clinton also had some stuff come up from his history as well. And unfortunately for him, it's an image of one of the Epstein accusers giving him a back massage and a neck massage and all that. And it shows him in an airplane hangar. And then the next shot, it shows him in Jeffrey Epstein's plane. So you know that they were all riding together. And this is an accuser that has gone out and actually been pretty outspoken about Epstein and she says that she did not have any actual sexual interaction with Bill Clinton during that trip. That trip was with Chris Tucker, apparently, as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she talked about it in the Netflix documentary.
Yeah, she talked about it at length.
And she was 22.
Right.
During this, so
exactly. So
no pedophilia. She was a consenting adult, not consenting. Sorry.
However, right, not consenting. It was very much likely still a part of the sex trafficking ring.
Right.
So he's not accused. So there's no evidence of him being a part of anything with underage girls necessarily directly, but still very much tying him into this whole sex trafficking thing. And
the story where she had talked about him and Chris Tucker.
Rush Hour.
I know.
Yeah. Damn, Chris Tucker.
Don't ruin Rush Hour for me.
Damn, Chris Tucker.
Who's next? Jackie Chan? Come on now.
Oh, man, that would break my heart.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's so what I found entertaining off of this. So I don't know. I don't think this was necessarily that scandalous. I already assumed. I think the one thing is his PR team has said that he's only gone, I think, on like 2 flights with Epstein, but the logs say 26. So any of these types of images that may not seem salacious or scandalous, it's still just connecting him with Epstein, to your point. What I thought was really interesting, I don't know how many really, really hardcore right people that you have on your social media, but I did, after this came out, see this fake ass picture of a naked man with a young girl and her hands, like he's butt ass naked, like on his butt, and like the other hand's rubbing his back, and it's like Bill Clinton's head really shittily from behind, photoshopped on a torso that is his, and everybody's like, what why is the media not covering this?
Oh, it's so
this
stupid.
Is outrageous. I'm like, well, you guys, come on now. This is such a poorly photoshopped image.
It's so fucking bad. But I will say that in just, having our topics pulled up and having articles where we could source some information to talk about it, it took me a little bit to find an up-to-date article about the pictures. I mean, I honestly only found 2, New York Post and Fox News. Not the greatest news sources for sure. And that was kind of a bummer for me. I was kind of thinking, man, really? Like, I couldn't really find anything on this. It's kind of not great. But yes, to go back to that picture, yeah, I did see that picture. Fucking hilarious. The best part about it is a lot of these are like, they'll do the Photoshop on it, and then somebody's grandma.
The Photoshop?
Yeah, they'll do Photoshop on it. Somebody's grandma will screenshot it, and then they'll pass it around. Grandma to white supremacists, to grandma white supremacists, to dummies, and then to QAnon crowds. Yeah, and then to QAnon crowds, and so on. So in that one, though, it actually, in the picture itself, you look at it, and it's actually labeled and saying, this is Trump.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
And, hard to deny this being Trump. And it blatantly is like the fake Photoshop of Bill Clinton. And it's like, dude, did you idiots not just check this out and really look into this?
Why is anybody sharing any of it? It's all fake and stupid.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It makes me sad for us as a nation that we truly are that dumb to pass around just blatant bullshit. I mean, it's terrible looking. It looks real bad.
Certainly there's some young conservative millennial that can do a better Photoshop job than what these extremists have.
I know, but this shit's coming. Now I'm going to get real conspiracy theory.
Russia, yeah.
This shit's coming from...
But they invented Photoshop.
This shit's coming from Russians over there going in, creating fake news articles, pass them around to dummies who will actually spread the news like wildfire on social media. And that's what's happening.
Well, on other Clinton news, he spoke at the DNC, which...
I didn't see it.
I saw a clip. Again, why the fuck are we allowing this man to speak? He is a horrible example of morality. He's a horrible example. One, he funded extra cops on the street, by the way, so people should be outraged to ever listen from him again with this whole outrage over the smallest of things.
Yeah.
I got pissed when I found that out. 2, why does I've always been very confused why we ever let this man around. He's been impeached. He did a horrible thing in the White House. And I'm not a judgmental person on this shit. But, like, if you're the president, don't fuck around with an intern. Not that hard. So I am always confused at why he's ever present. Why would we ever allow him to be speaking at the DNC, for the DNC? So he made comments basically about Trump's time in office, and I can't remember the exact words, but he was basically chastising his shitstorm of a term, and Stephen Colbert called him out on it and was like, yeah, I don't think we should let hit this man around interns. Like, he should not be talking. Why is he calling out Trump when he was basically just as shitty?
Yeah, I actually did hear that part. What Bill Clinton said was, right now at a time like this, the White House should be used as a command center, and the Oval Office should be used as, a command center for helping out these issues and trying to save us. And cut to Stephen Colbert saying, yeah, I don't think you should be telling us how to use the Oval Office with what you did in the Oval Office.
So stupid.
Yeah, very stupid. This is, yeah.
Like, guys, we're better than this. This is what kills me.
Yeah.
I am proud to have liberal beliefs, even though I think they should just be considered normal beliefs, but whatever. Why are you ruining this shit? Like, we have a chance to be just better ourselves, not continue doing the same old political bullshit. I'm so sick of it. It's so exhausting. Can this guy? Don't ever let him around again. Give it over to the young liberals that are actually sticking up for what they believe in, and cut this bullshit. And watching them all sit around shooting the shit on, like, a Zoom type meeting, it's like, I get it. You're trying to humanize what's going on right now, because everybody has to talk through Zoom meetings or through the phone and things like that now instead of one-on-one. But it was just like the biggest load of shit. I'm so sick of it.
Oh, so gross. Like all the fake laughter.
Like, hey, we talked mad shit on him.
Yeah.
But now we're going to act like he's the best person in the world. And it's like, can we just be real?
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
That's politics. Yeah. I mean, every party does it. But
I get it. And supposedly next week at the Republican National Convention, they're going to have the 2 fucking dummies from St. Louis that stood outside their house pointing guns at people. I'm a proud gun owner. And I'll tell you what. Look, I get defending yourself in front of your own home. That's the most important reason why you should have a gun. However, you still cannot point the barrel of a weapon, of a gun, at someone. That's still,
well,
in
these
fact,
people
they
weren't
say,
even storming their home. They were staying in the street. We've already talked about this.
The reports on that are really
no,
fucking mixed up. But
it's a gate to the neighborhood.
Okay.
That was down. This wasn't their personal gate that they broke down. Okay. And they were walking on the street protesting past their house.
I don't want to get sidetrack on that.
Okay, whatever.
But still fucking stupid. Regardless of the situation, you don't point a gun at someone unless you're trying to use it. And the dumbest part about this, which actually ties back to people sharing dumb images, there was a person there with full camera gear on, and in a weird angle, it looks like the end of a long barrel of something. And these fucking conservatives were passing it around saying, oh yeah, he wasn't in immediate danger and he shouldn't have pointed his gun at him. Well, what do you call this? And it showed a fucking guy holding a boom mic, which is basically a mic kind of like this, except much thinner. And yeah, it looks like a thin barrel, but no, it's a fucking microphone, and it is blatantly a microphone. And they were passing that around. So fucking stupid. And it's just like, oh God, like, come on, guys. This is just getting fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and then they're gonna idolize that shit.
Yeah, that's gross.
And make them like conservative icons. So
you know what? I guess to sum it up, I hate that the reasoning to really vote for somebody is in spite of someone else. But you know what? Fuck. That maybe
you finally got me.
Yeah.
Because I've never voted for somebody to spite somebody else.
Always hated the whole argument of voting between two evils.
Yeah, but the U.S. is out of control. I can't do this shit anymore. So
I agree. Yet again, another former Trump cabinet guy, actually the 6th now, to be prosecuted on serious charges. So pretty sad that, in just about 4 years that Trump's got 6 cabinet members who have been indicted on something. And this time it's
he
Steve
sure knows how to pick them.
God, right? Fucking idiot. This time it's Steve Bannon.
Wait, and how many of the 6 did he fire?
Right. And how many of the 6 did turn around and call him a fucking idiot?
I know, right? Jesus.
So anyway, this time it's Steve Bannon.
These hoes ain't loyal. Sorry, I'm done.
And Steve Bannon, apparently he and is it 4 others, I think? So I think it's either 4 people in total or him and 4 others were essentially prosecuted for embezzling charity funds, which were going to the GoFundMe for We'll Build the Wall. And the whole mission of this was because of the fact that back a couple of years ago, whenever the Democrats had essentially said, we're taking Congress, we're not going to allow additional funds to go into the wall, that GoFundMe was essentially started to essentially say, fine, if you don't want it to go through Congress, then we will privately fund it. And they started that, made a GoFundMe, raised a substantial amount of money, millions, and from there, apparently they were caught up in it, and there's proof that they were using those funds for private means, for personal means.
So he took $1 million, Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
And then there is a Iraq vet who is a triple amputee who took $350,000. And I saw pictures of him and his wife. They're in their 30s. His wife's in bikinis. She posts a lot of like by the car, by the golf cart, in the boat type of bikini pics.
Yeah.
They supposedly took $350, and some of the checks were written towards his wife, like labeled as media fees and things like that.
Fuck.
And I guess he bought like a $600,000 boat and is getting flack for it, but he said he bought it before all of this. But I think I read they live in like a $290,000 house in Florida. So
yeah,
why you got a $600,000 boat, bro?
Florida life, Florida priorities.
Right. I mean, can you live on the boat if you lose your house? Because that's twice your house's worth.
Yeah, I don't know how ADA compliant boats are typically, especially private boats, but yeah, that is pretty fucking weird. But if he has proof that he had the boat before, that's a pretty fucking easy thing to prove.
Yeah.
So that should be open shut. However, these were federal charges. And I don't think federal prosecutors like to fuck around with this kind of stuff without a pretty good amount of proof, especially when it's dealing with the president's former special advisor. So I don't think these guys are fucking around whenever they brought up these charges with how much media, was going to cover this.
But can we talk about how fucking funny it is that people actually gave to a GoFundMe to build a wall? It's funny, but it's fucking scary as well. So
these are the same people that write a check for their sins to be blessed and for their ailments to be cured by writing a check to some TV minister.
You don't write a check to tithe for your sins to be blessed. You tithe because that's what you do to give back.
Yeah.
We're not getting into that, Sean.
But these are the same people.
Yeah.
That you just
Sean,
asked why?
I'm not
It's
going. No, I didn't ask why. I actually didn't ask why.
You said who?
Nope. I didn't.
Okay.
Nope. None of those things. I literally just said it's funny yet scary.
It is scary
that these people contributed to this.
It is fucking scary.
Like how fucking hateful are you to take your own goddamn money to give to a GoFundMe to build a wall to keep immigrants from Mexico or migrating through Mexico out of the U.S. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
You
pretty hateful.
idiot. You shouldn't. I have no fucking sympathy for you. Don't donate your money to that kind of shit.
Pretty fucking hateful. Also, pretty fucking stupid because I guess about a year ago, there was video footage of a strong gust of wind that knocked it down. This one was covered in the media too. You probably saw it. And it was like the part of the fence that fell over. And yeah, that was the private GoFundMe portion that fell over. And in fact, after Steve Bannon was arrested, he had this just fat guy with a like fishing shirt on and all that. He looked so terrible. Anyway, they went over to Trump in the morning, and all the journalists were essentially asking him, what are your thoughts on this? And he said, well, I haven't been a part of Steve Bannon, a part of his dealings in a long time. I haven't worked with him, in quite some time. And the after I saw that that wall portion fell over, it's poor quality, and that's not the kind of quality of wall that we were going to do. So I've distanced myself from that as well. So how stupid do you fucking feel that you put all this money up because of the fact that you believed a guy who was saying that building walls is a good idea to begin with, and then that guy fucking distanced himself from you?
I highly doubt these people were like, yeah, we're really going to use this money to build a wall. They're like, we're going to prey on middle America and their stupidity to give money to this fucking wall.
Yeah.
And we're going to spend it and laugh our way, ha 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 ha, to the bank. I just cannot. Like, Jesus Christ. And by the way, the wall, guys, have you not seen Narcos Mexico? Have you not read all of the news stories for years and years? Brah, if they're going to funnel drugs into the U.S., they do it through tunnels. They can come through tunnels. They've done it under the wall before. It's the most asinine, stupid thing I've ever heard.
There's a lot easier ways to be able to get inside the United States. And unfortunately, in those tests where they have people go in from other countries to sneak into the U.S. with substances as like a test result to be able to see if the TSA would catch it, the TSA typically fail.
Yeah, I think probably more drugs go through tunnels.
Probably. But
and
just
did
goes
you
to
see
show
Breaking Bad?
Right.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I bet there's somebody with a fried chicken restaurant who's shipping drugs in semis as we speak, driving it right
batter,
over
in fried chicken batter.
Driving it right over the border in the most delicious of fried batter. Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah, probably. There's probably something like that.
God damn, that was a good show. They don't make them like that anymore.
No, not really. They really don't.
No. Well, I guess we'll see what happens there. I mean, Trump will probably pardon him.
Yeah, he's going to definitely pardon him.
Whatever.
So I definitely don't believe that you know anything about this next topic, but I think it's an interesting topic for sure. And it is regarding Mia Khalifa, who is a former...
Who dat?
She is a former adult entertainer, and she was a student who essentially went into pornography as a way to get money and be able to fund the tough life of being a student and all the expenses that come along with that, and that you can't really work a full-time job with being a student sometimes, and yeah, she took it in that way, and she became extremely popular back in like 2015 or something like that. I don't recall the timeline. And
I can tell details, you don't really know a lot about this porn star.
The details are, they're kind of blurry, but apparently she was a big deal at that time and really talked about and referenced. In fact, in that really popular documentary on Netflix called Hot Girls Wanted, she was actually referenced as a success story. So, since then, cut to a few years later, she stops doing pornography, and she comes out as a personality and essentially starts kind of showing off some of her sports knowledge. And it turns out she's actually very knowledgeable in sports. And she actually goes on a few talk shows here and there. And unfortunately, on a majority of those talk shows, they would introduce her as Mia Khalifa, former adult entertainer. And she has fought against that quite a bit. In fact, she's actually like yelled at people on their own shows and then hopped off that show. It's been very public the way she's done it. And she decided to come out and say that she was a bit of a victim to the adult entertainment industry, and made all these claims saying that she made no money, where it was all heavily documented that she made a lot of money, and that even references a success story, like I said. So, Bang Bros, they came out and actually have full-blown records and went ahead and started making rebuttal videos to essentially lay out all of their facts, which they have plenty of documentation on, to essentially call out, here's all the money that she's made, which is a substantial amount. Here's her time frames of working, which is a substantial amount of time. And everything that she's saying about being a victim is totally false, because we have so many consent videos and interviews before and after, and she is totally like knowledgeable of what she's doing and is very happy, and she asks for more work. There's emails. She says that she was thrown a contract and intimidated to sign it, where they have an actual email exchange saying, hey, here's the contract, take some time, read it through, get back to us. She sends it back in like 10 minutes or something like that. It says done. So things like that really fight what she is saying. So
they came with receipts.
Exactly.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Their company name, is it because they're brothers that bang?
I'm not going to get into like any kind of knowledge base of their name or anything like that. I think so, but I don't. I'm pretty sure what it is there was a I mean, you don't
there
have
was
to
a
get no, I'm not going to get into it, but what I'll say was there was they were kind of like the popular funny videos where it was a comedic but pornographic, and it was
were they in a
popular.
van?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
I guess
yeah,
I've seen it.
And so they made
you probably showed it to me early on in our relationship.
I don't think so.
Yeah, right, pervert.
I'm pretty sure I did not.
It
was very well known. Even if you didn't watch any adult entertainment or anything like that, it was very well known as like a comedic parody type thing. So, so anyway, what do you think as a woman who has is in a professional career, if you're on her, you're in her situation where she is trying to pivot to becoming this sports opinion / expert, and trying to get away from that title of former adult entertainer, but kind of skewing the story. What do you think of the situation?
I don't know. That's hard. One, I correct people on my job title a lot, but I don't get offended about it. That was a choice you made as an adult. Now, without reading and seeing the facts, the reality is she's a young girl. She was a young girl, right? I knew that name sounded familiar. I've seen her. I mean, like in articles.
Yeah, articles.
Anyway, like here's the thing. She was a young girl at the time, so even if they have the receipts, it's pretty easy to be coerced at that age into doing things unknowingly from the party that may have a bit of persuasiveness. I think she could have been coerced into it, even if she signed everything. That's a tough spot. Like, legally, it sounds like they're in the clear, but young girls are impressionable, but she was an adult, technically. So all that aside, you did make a choice when getting into the adult entertainment industry. I sure hope that she wasn't abused or mistreated. There's a lot of girls and women in the entertainment industry, adult or otherwise, that I think, adult, that I think use it as like an empowering term, and really take control of it. And there's others that don't and have been mistreated. So I hope she wasn't the mistreated one. I think if she's speaking out, like I said, she's young. She was young. It's easy to be influenced at that age. However, with being introduced by that, I mean, if they're not being dicks about it, like, I don't know how it's going on. So they could be like, Mia Khalifa, former porn star, now turned sports commentator. If it's something like that, it's like you're trying to make a name for yourself one way, but how you're known is the other title that you have in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I've only seen like one instance of it, and I think it was just as subtle of an intro like that, like former adult entertainer or former porn star. I think they probably said former porn star. It's this guy's sports show. They're kind of schlubby. It's like
they're
a
guys.
local,
What the fuck do you expect?
Yeah, and they're just
guys are pervs. Sorry,
it's like a sports show / like comedic. So
of course they're gonna call it out.
They say like former porn star, and the reason why is, guys, who's the fucking audience they're talking to?
Yeah, men. Duh.
And
so they probably watched
what
her.
What will call their fucking attention when they're at work or driving to work or whatever in the morning when they're listening to this show? It's gonna be that. It's gonna say former porn star. Of course, the ears are gonna ring up and all that. And of course, that is why she is on the show to begin with, right? I mean,
I don't know. You said she was really good at sports,
she is, but there's a lot. I'm really good at sports. How come I wasn't?
Oh, okay.
So
well, you're not a beautiful young lady, so.
Well, okay, but still.
Yeah, it's
there's
part
of showbiz. There's a lot of beautiful
biz.
young ladies that know sports really well.
Are there?
Yeah, 100%. I've been on fantasy football leagues with smart, intelligent, beautiful women. Yeah, you including.
Yeah, I know.
being a part of that list.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'll have to look into it, man. I'm not really a fan of commentating on something like that, or somebody claims that they were a victim to something. I would like to read up more.
That's fair.
On it.
That's fair. I think it definitely is an interesting ongoing saga right now, and both sides have a platform, and they're talking about it pretty openly, and we'll see how this all dishes out.
I think that industry is always at risk on both sides to take advantage of young women and young men, and young women and young men getting taken advantage of. I think that industry will always be like that, unfortunately, no matter how many safeguards, you put in. It's just, I think, kind of tricky. You're going to have people, hopefully not a lot anymore, end up feeling that way. So I guess more to come. I'll do a little more research on it.
Yeah.
Well, I am kind of in a food coma over here. We went to a vegan drive-through pop-up where you could order from a bunch of vegan vendors, pull up, get your meal in one bag to go. It was amazing. But I am a little sleepy.
Yeah, I've got the food fatigue as well. And there was a lot of different vendors to choose from. What did I choose? Or what did you choose? Actually, let's start with you. What did you choose? What did you get?
Well, I got 2 tacos. We each got 2 tacos, but the vendor was late, so we didn't get those. So I ate a whole thing of cauliflower hot wings. I ate half of a Philly cheesesteak. I ate half of a strawberry bundt cake. I ate half of a pumpkin whoopie pie. You ate all of what I said, except your hot wings came with a side of lasagna.
What better way to have your hot wings than with a side of vegan lasagna? So that was fucking delicious. And I'm about to crash as well. So thanks everybody for listening to our 8th episode. And, we'll continue to put out more episodes every week. You can catch up on us on YouTube, and then you can also follow along on any of the podcast streaming apps that we're a part of, and our social media. What social media are we on?
At WNF Podcast on Instagram. That is where we are most active. You can also find us on Facebook.
And Twitter as well.
Oh, Twitter. Sorry.
And
I just
Reddit
don't.
as well.
Yeah, well, Reddit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Reddit. I don't really tweet, so.
Yeah.
I don't do the tweeting.
Our president does the tweeting.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't fucking get on that app. Somebody take that man's fucking phone away from him. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
Appreciate the listenings. Appreciate the new subscribers. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, if you guys are enjoying, please follow us and subscribe. Leave us a comment and let us know how you're liking the show. Have a good week, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.